Okay. Hi, this is Ice Blue 333. Currently, it is August 23rd, 2025. So let's see here. I've already made my previous video was about the full astrology of Danny Williams. So I guess this video is going to be about James Comey and his apparent he apparently posted some video from a Zoom call or whatever, and it just came off as weird. He mentioned Taylor Swift and I guess her music in a concert or something like that. And so the last time that James Comey made a post, it said somebody 86 47 or whatever, and there was a big situation with that, and I guess they said it came off as a threat to Donald Trump. So, and I mean, looking back all the way back, I think in on November 19th, 2024, I think also Bill Clinton, he said watch the signs or whatever, and I believe that James Comey inside of the video, he mentioned a song by Taylor Swift called Exiled. And that song, it keeps it's saying something about signs, signs, signs. I gave you signs. I kept giving you signs. I kept giving you signs, or whatever. But anyway, the point of this video, because I need to get to the point first, because it's gonna be a long one. Is that I think I've already posted and told Trump that he and his entire family needs to be he and his entire family needs to be careful, especially his children, but namely his sons. And I'm more so concerned about Donald Trump Jr. Because if there was a photo op that these Democrats were looking for, I would think that they would want the headlines to say that Donald Trump has passed away, and so if they can't get Donald Trump, the father, in regards to having that headline, I would think that they would want to get the second best, which is Donald Trump Jr. Because I think Donald Trump he has Secret Service and he has all this protection around him, so it's going to be I'm not going to say nearly impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult to get to Donald Trump. But Donald Trump Jr., yeah. So let's see here. So looking at, I believe at the concerts that Taylor Swift she's had or whatever, and I won't say I'm not saying that her music is a threat or not. I'm just saying that since James Comey has previously seemingly made a threat to Donald Trump, I could only assume that he may have meant something about this well, whatever he posted. So looking, and I think that Donald Trump and Taylor Swift did get into a spat or whatever, and so that Taylor Swift holds that Taylor Swift she writes music about her exes, so I would only assume that she holds grudges, going by her history. Anyway, so her new album, I watched her full 2 hour and 8 minute video with a podcast with this other guy whose name I do not remember. I think it's Kelsey or something like that. And she mentioned a lot of things. But she has a new album that's going to come out on, I believe, October the 3rd, 2025. And the album disc or whatever is a orange disc. I'm like, and the man who was interviewing her, he was like, why is the album orange? And she said, oh, just because. Which I'm not going. Look, I didn't really get a clear answer. I was so bored that I was like, please just get this over with. So I was like, but I saw that I took note of everything that could be taken as a possible threat, and so it was as much as I could. But anyway, I think it boiled down to this guy. He asked her like, why did you have this orange door in your last concert? He said this is the first time you've ever. He said when you usually leave the stage at the end of your concert, you usually go down the stairs instead of going up, and it's like you went up during this concert and through this orange door. And she said, oh, that's just something new. I mean, well, she didn't say that. She alluded to something I don't remember because I was just so fucking bored. I'm sorry. I 2 hours and I think 8 minutes. And and just try. And I mean, I just got through watching the 4 hour and 30-some minute Ghislaine Maxwell's interview, and I'm like, I gotta process that, and then come to find out there's actually a 6 hour version. So I'm like, give me a break. Anyway, so, but if that could have been taken as a threat, if and allegedly, I would think that a door being that high in the ceiling it will represent the sun, S-U-N. And sun can be spelled S-U-N or S-O-N. And pretty much as how the door is slowly went down, it was almost like a sunset, the setting of a sun. And a door would be like a door to the other side, or a closing door. So if that was considered a threat by James Comey, I would think that would mean that they're probably after Donald Trump's children. Just from what I can only perceive. So let's see here. What else? Let me pause for a second. Okay. Now, looking at the astrology, Taylor Swift, she's just had a Jupiter return. And see, her natal Jupiter is actually conjunct Donald Trump's natal Mercury. And we've been talking about this. I mean, I've been talking about this, not we. I've been talking about that natal Mercury since, what was it, July the 18th. And see, the conjunction of Jupiter hitting Taylor Swift's natal Jupiter, it happened on July the 13th, 2025. And, you know, that was in memorial of Donald Trump's assassination attempt that happened on July 13th, 2024, where he barely survived an assassination attempt. So that's interesting, because the moreover bigger picture, when you look at both Donald Trump's chart and Taylor Swift's chart, if I can pull it up real quick, is that, let me switch these around too. Take a look at Donald Trump's chart. Is that pretty much in regards to Taylor Swift's natal chart, her natal sun, which is in Sagittarius, is conjunct Donald Trump's natal Ketu and Donald Trump's natal moon. And you know, it's like losses. So pretty much anything that she probably tries to do to Donald Trump, it could probably make him bigger. And I mean, let's see, I was supposed to have said that too. So what has been saving Trump, seemingly, is transiting Jupiter, transiting Donald Trump's 10th house and 11th house. Because the things that have been going on to Donald Trump, that is just bad or malefic, is transiting Rahu and Ketu. That axis is squaring his 10th house and his 11th house, or the planets inside those houses. And so and you notice that it's like they keep trying to do things, and it just nothing just goes wrong in regards to Donald Trump. So I wrote down in my notes that pretty much, if there was something that was going on with Taylor Swift and James Comey in regards to Donald Trump, it could cause, let me pause for a second to say this correctly, because I gotta look at my notes. 1 second. But yeah, looking at the astrology, it would cause Taylor Swift an emotional lesson in regards to her, I believe, open enemies. And the only thing I think that can cause that is probably the Danny Williams reveal that Bill Clinton is Danny Williams' actual father. This is we're dealing with, because Taylor Swift, she was born under a full moon, it looks like, and so was Donald Trump, and their suns are exactly opposite each other, and their moons are opposite each other as well. So yeah, it could be, it's a lesson. And see, Donald Trump, his Chiron is inside of her 9th house. So a lesson in regards to her beliefs and losses in regards to her beliefs, and an expansion in regards to her beliefs. Her beliefs. Relief. The world. Anyway, so let me pause for another second. Okay, and in regards to Donald Trump, it's an emotional loss for his hidden enemies. So it's just a lesson. So let's see here. What is that right? And like, yeah, being that Taylor Swift, it seems like she does support the Democrats. It's like she loses control because of what Neptune, Capricorn is out of the first house, and then Donald Trump is transformed into a king because his Pluto is inside of Leo, and I think that his Pluto is in it's, nope, it's in the 12th house, so it could be some kind of loss, but he's still king. Let's see here. So back to Donald Trump Jr. because this is very important. Um, I am very concerned about Donald Trump Jr. because pretty much I didn't notice it, but Donald Trump Jr. his progressed ascendant will conjoin his progressed Saturn around August 30th, 2025, and this lasts for the whole month of I would say even before August 30th. So I would say now because today is August 23rd, 2025. I would say from now all the way throughout September September 30th, the whole month of September, there could be there could be a loss in regards to his physical being. So he needs to be very careful in regards to his physical being. And another thing is that transiting Jupiter, just like I said back when transiting Jupiter conjoined Usher Vance's ascendant. Apparently, Donald Trump Jr. his ascendant is also in Cancer, and so So like I said, Jupiter transiting Jupiter is not always good. It could magnify just what you are. The difference here is that pretty much Donald Trump Jr. his ascendant lord, the moon, is not it's not surrounded by malefics, but well, close malefics. But Saturn is still 12 places from the moon. So he needs to be very careful in regards to his physical being and health or whatever. Donald Trump Jr. Let's see here. What else? I got that. Let's see here. Are these transits? Mercury. So I think also around September 14th, for Donald Trump Jr., his progressed Mercury will I believe sextile his natal Mercury, and he could probably hear some news around that time in his 8th house, 6th house. So there could be an accident in regards to him or people that are around him. So he needs to be extremely careful. Let's see what else. Oh goodness! And then also around November 3rd, 2025, Donald Trump Jr. his progressed Mercury will make an aspect to his moon, so he could hear some news about. He could just hear some news, emotional news. November 3rd, 2025. Let's see what else. Jesus. Well, that's 2027. That's a long time from now. But on December 3rd, 2027, in regards to Donald Trump Jr., his progressed Pluto and his progressed Uranus, they will aspect each other in a 112 aspect, and so that means just a shocking transformation. I've never seen this before, but we'll see what comes up with that. Let's see here, what else. Also on who's this? Okay, so looking at transits now for Donald Trump Jr., transiting Saturn will quincunx his natal Saturn, I believe on August 29, 2025. So that's in a few days from now. So like I said, he needs to be extremely careful because around the same time, his progressed ascendant is going to conjoin his progressed Saturn, and Saturn is not a good planet in regards to progressions. It could cause a loss of something or a block of something, and with it being his ascendant, it could cause a loss of him or some form of him. So That's that. Let's see here. Is that everything in regards to Donald Trump Jr.? So all I'm saying is that pretty much Donald Trump Jr. needs to be careful from now all the way through the rest of September. So let me pause for another second. Okay. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying that Taylor Swift or her music or whatever is making threats. I'm just saying that James Comey, the last time we've heard from him or some big news about him was when he posted a picture of some seashells spelling out 8647. And so, yeah. And I tried to warn Donald Trump. Like, so the posts that I make to Donald Trump and the FBI or whatever, they're not threats, they're warnings, Cash Patel, because I've seen Cash Patel's, I've looked at a synergy chart between me and Cash Patel, and it looks like he might try to lock me up one day or something. Like, he might cause a loss for me one day. So, I don't know. As a matter of fact, he has the same birthday as my ex, my first ex, the ex that I hate. It messed up my life for a good period of time, but it's all good. It worked out, and I ended up learning a lot about astrology. And then, but also, well, no, Cash Patel's birthday is like one day before my ex's, who messed up my life for a few years, 4 years exactly. But also, Cash Patel has the same birthday as my preacher friend who ended up giving me this ring. So a preacher gave me this ring right here, and he has the same. Cash Patel has the same birthday as the preacher friend. My preacher friend, he passed away, I believe, a couple of years ago. Not a couple of years, but it's been 4 or 5 years. It's been longer than that. Jesus, these years run into each other when you just. Anyway, so let me see here. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so yeah, I did say that Donald Trump, he seems to be blessed because transiting Jupiter is transiting his 10th house and his 11th house. So I've had this happen. I've had the transiting Jupiter transit my 10th house, and what happened was apparently my boss at the time tried my boss and his boss tried to get me fired. And so on the day that I should have been fired by my boss or whatever, and his boss, we were supposed to have had a meeting, pretty much somehow he ended up I came to work and like he wasn't there. And kind of find out he ended up getting demoted. He got demoted. And then his boss ended up being transferred. And another thing is that apparently on the week before I should have been fired. See, I worked in sales, and so I was just working. I pretty much just was trying to get as many sales as I could because I was written up, I think, about like 2 times or whatever. And I think that he wrote me up, I believe, in secret. And so I didn't know, but it's up. Anyway, in regards to the Jupiter hitting transit my 10th house, my 11th house, what happened was I ended up making so many sales. I got so many sales, and my stats increased so much that I doubled all the stats of the people that were inside of the building combined. You could combine all of their stats together, and it would not equal mine. And I was just simply like, well, okay, well, I'm just going to keep on working. And so pretty much, I guess the heads of the heads saw how good I was, and it was like, if you're going to fire him for just this stupid reason, no, we're going to demote you and fire this guy because we're trying to meet. We have sales quotas to meet, and you're without this guy, you're not going to meet your sales quota. And so I guess that's what happened. So that's what happens when transiting Jupiter is transiting your 10th house and 11th house, and you have idiots that are trying to fire you or trying to do something to you or whatever. That's all I'm going to say. So bye for now.